everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I'm going to be taking you through some cards that make you a huge target. So, warning, be careful when using these. So, first up, one that's always, well, seems like a good idea until it isn't. Telepathy. This card is incredible. It is an enchantment for a single blue mana, and it says your opponents play with their hands revealed. You get all the information, and none of them get information on you. You get to know what their schemes are, what they're up to, what powerful cards they have in their hand, if they're completely bluffing, if they've got nothing in their hands. And your opponents get to see each other's cards, but not yours. So essentially they can determine, all right, this is the player that's the biggest threat. They got these things in their hands. And it always seems like a good idea until when you play this, for some reason, everyone else at the table gets really upset with you. And then they're like, you know what? Instead of just being upset with each other for having all these great cards in our hands, let's just take out the player that played Telepathy, because they played Telepathy, and it's really annoying for players to know what I'm doing and us not know what they're doing. So, yeah, this can definitely paint a massive target on your back. It is a card to use cautiously, use carefully. In a control-type strategy, you can get away with it because you can probably control things enough that you're okay. But yeah, being able to know everyone else's hands and them not know yours, that can probably rub some players the wrong way and might get you targeted, so be careful. Next up, though, let's stick with enchantments with Oath of Druids. An enchantment for 2 mana in green. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, the player chooses target player who controls more creatures than they do and is their opponent. It's kind of weird that they have to, specify that. Anyways, the first player may reveal cards to the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. If they do, they put it on the battlefield, and all their cards reveal this way into their graveyard. Basically, hey, does that player have some more creatures than I do? Yeah? Cool. All right, let me tutor up, get something off the top of my library into play for free. Here's the thing. When you play this, you're going to have ways to take advantage of it. You're going to have ways to get just massive creatures off the top of your deck. Sure, do you actually benefit opponents somewhat? Kind of. Some ways, yes. But maybe not to the point that they're willing to accept that you're just getting these massive creatures off the top of your library again and again and again and again. And other players aren't going to take much advantage of it. They're like, oh, okay, cool. I hit a Land of War Elves off the top of my deck. Great. Or, yeah, it's just something that players assume that you're always going to be hitting massive creatures off the top. They have to stop you before they can do that. So again, just playing this card, even if you are not hitting the biggest things right away, you're still going to become a massive threat just for playing this very card. Next up, though, let's move on to one card that I'm kind of using as a placeholder. I mean, this card is itself, a card, too, that can put a target on your back, but a placeholder for all of the cards out there that are like alternative win condition type cards that like stay in play and eventually you win the game. Simic Ascendency is a good example of one. Enchantment for 2 mana in Simic, you can get counters on a creature you control. Whenever one or more counters are put on a creature you control, you put that many growth counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it has 20 more growth counters on it, you win the game. This is one that is super easy to actually get to. Luckily, Wizards with these has been putting them like as an upkeep trigger, so like it's not, you're going to have time to respond to it, I should say. That being said, when you play something like this, the closer and closer you get to that 20 or more growth counters on it, the closer you get to the alternative win condition, the bigger of a target you are. So just by playing this in the first place, puts opponents on alert that, oh, this could be a way that this player ends the game and just wins it out of nowhere with this. We need to stop them from before they get there. And again, with Simic Ascendency in particular, it's very easy to get like, oh, a counter on all my creatures. Cool, that's like 10 counters right there. Or I proliferate, that's 10 more counters. Okay, cool. I'm there. Being able to essentially utilize this to win the game can be quite easy. And because of that, when you play it, players can go right at you. Let's keep things rolling, though, with another card that is kind of a placeholder-ish just for, like, a specific kind of card type and a specific kind of strategy. Rites of Flourishing. An enchantment for 3 mana in green. Beginning of each player's draw step, the player draws additional card. Each player may play additional land on each of their turns. This card, something like the everyone mana doubles cards, like those types of cards, can definitely put a target on your back. Group hug type cards can rub certain players the wrong way, where they're like, okay, that player's not really trying to win the game. They're just trying to cause chaos by being, quote-unquote, friendly, by giving everyone resources and speed things up. There are certain players out there that don't want you to speed things up. There are certain players out there that want to, get way ahead of everyone else on their own without actually having you help everyone kind of stay around the same amount. So yeah, group huggy type cards like this can definitely put a target on your back because you're giving away so many free resources to everyone that they don't want you to do that. They want to be able to stay ahead on their own. And by you doing that, you put a target on your back to get taken out because of that. Up next on the list, Rule of Law. Yeah, this can most definitely put a target on your back, and especially in combination with other cards, but even just on its own, this Arcane Laboratory, I think Spirit of the Labyrinth, no, that one's different. Anyways, ones that basically do this exact same thing. An enchantment for 3 mana in white, each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Yeah, there's a good amount of cards that actually do this. Basically, if you are limiting players in any kind of a way, resource denial, or just like literally the amount of spells you can cast in a turn, you're going to get a target on your back. Is this a card that you can't play in a deck? It's not exactly like in Commander, like a land destruction type card, which I would say like mass land destruction. You probably can't play that in casual Commander. This one's kind of on the borderline, essentially, of like, it's annoying. You can get around it, though. That being said, the obnoxiousness of it could just make it so that your opponents are like, you know what? I don't have any removal, but I got player removal. We're coming at you. We're going to take you out because you're making this game just drag on so much. Only being able to play one spell each turn can be obnoxious, and because of that, we're coming right after you right now. Up next on the list, Grave Pact. Now, this one, and maybe this is a good time to mention other cards as well, is something that is, I think that is mentioned like nearly a game changer, but not quite. It's not marked as a game changer yet, but it's like on the list of cards that could be game changers or like considered for game changers. It is so powerful and so game changing. Yeah, this can most definitely put a target on your back. Grave Pact, I will say also, obviously, dictated variable. It's basically the exact same thing, but one more mana at flash speed. Enchantment for 4 mana in black. Whenever a creature you control is put into a grave from the battlefield, each other player sacrifices a creature. This is so incredibly powerful. It is so incredibly game-changing, and it can control the board in an obnoxious way where, again, if you have a deck where it's like an aristocrat-style deck or a sacrifice deck, and you're just like, okay, I get Reassembling Skeleton out, I sacrifice it, I do it again, I play this creature, which is an edict effect, it sacrifices itself, and it's going to make you sacrifice more, then you sacrifice more. You basically can control the board to the point that your opponents cannot keep anything in play. They literally can keep no creatures in play. If they try to play a creature, you're going to take it out. Because literally like, okay, I just sacrificed my little like 1/1 bat. Okay, it's gone, and all of a sudden all your creatures are gone. So you are just getting rid of like tiny little minuscule things that gets rid of your opponent's best creatures, and they literally can't play onto the board without those things getting taken out again. So yeah, cards that are near game changers that can change the game in such a dramatic way, and again, basically lock down the board like this one can, definitely put a target on your back. Okay, and because I mentioned that near game changer card, I believe, again, correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong on that, but I believe Grave Pact was just listed as like a near game changer, but not quite into the game changers. Yeah, if you're playing basically any of the game changers, you're probably going to put a target on your back because, again, there's a reason why they're listed as game changers. They are super powerful cards. So, yeah, Rhystic Study is annoying and will get a target on your back. Enchant for 3 mana in blue. Whenever opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless the player pays 1. You got to pay the 1. You got to pay the 1. You got to pay the 1. It's obnoxious. It's powerful. Yeah, if you play it and I don't have removal, I'm going to be coming after you. And so will the other opponents too, because we want to take you out. Smothering Tithe, of course, in the same vein. Again, just another example of a game changer that is, well, again, super powerful and super annoying. You're going to get a target on your back. When an opponent draws a card, the player may pay 2. If they don't, you get a treasure token. It's obnoxious. Again, you got to pay the 2. You got to pay the 2. You got to pay the 2. It's incredibly powerful, works with wheels, etc., etc. Yeah, again, basically any of the game changers, I'm just kind of utilizing these as like a placeholder for those. If you're playing them, then yes, you have a target on your back. Onward we go with a card that is not a game changer, but is also kind of obnoxious and kind of hilarious with a certain weird combo. Lethal Vapors, an enchantment for 4 mana in black. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy it! Also, by paying 0, you destroy it. You have to skip your next turn. Any player may play this ability. A really quick mention of like the combo around this one. It's basically like this, plus I think it's like Teferi's Protection kind of in a way where you're like, okay, I skip 1,000 turns. I cast Teferi's Protection, and I'm out! And all of a sudden, like, your opponents just have to take all their turns unless they have a way to, like, prevent themselves from drawing cards or to stop themselves from drawing out and losing the game. they just lose the game because they took all the turns, and you're just sitting away, not doing anything, which is kind of funny. Anyways, outside of that, this is a card that can be absolutely obnoxious because, yes, even if your opponents don't have removal for it, hey, the removal's built in, right? It's okay, all right? You can actually just destroy it by skipping a turn. So this is essentially putting it on your opponents to say, all right, are you willing to do this for everyone? Because, hey, no one can play creatures, essentially, until this is gone. And, of course, if you're a certain type of strategy that's like, you know what, I'm fine with my creatures getting destroyed because they have, like, an ETB, and they still get the ETB. Or, like, when they're destroyed, I get, like, token creatures or whatever, which also get destroyed. If I have aristocrat-style things already in play, I get value off of that. Or if I've got, like, an indestructible creature, cool, that's staying in play because it can't be destroyed. Awesome. You can take advantage of it still, but again, you're forcing another player to literally get rid of it by skipping a turn, which is a huge ask, and yeah, it's gonna definitely put a target on your back, because it's like, that player played Lethal Vapors. What? Okay, everyone get that player. All right, everyone get that player. We'll all agree. Like, let's just destroy that player instead of destroying the enchantment. There you go. Time to shift gears, though, with Doubling Season. Yeah, this enchantment is synonymous with Commander for many reasons, but it's also kind of a representation of a certain type of card in Commander that is super popular, and all of them are so expensive. We're talking about token doublers, but this one also is counter doublers, too, which really does kind of make this one unique, where it can put a target on your back for multiple reasons. An enchantment for 5 mana in green. If an effect will create one or more tokens on your control, it creates twice the mana tokens instead. Again, this one specifically does not say, like, what kind of tokens. So, yeah, it could be creature tokens or, like, treasure tokens. It's kind of insane. On top of that, though, if an effect will put one or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many of those counters on that permanent instead. Again, any kind of counters. So, obviously, yeah, +1 counters make your army even bigger. Great. But also charge counters, cool, but also loyalty counters. Again, this is just basically a ticking time bomb of I win with a Planeswalker ultimate as well. So yeah, doubling up tokens, doubling up any kinds of tokens, doubling up counters, doubling up, again, loyalty counters in particular too, and just winning the game with an ultimate ability of a Planeswalker. This is an insanely powerful card, and one that once it comes down on the table, there's going to be a massive target on your back. So be careful when you play this. Obviously, you can take over the game and win by playing it in the right chance, right opportunity, but still, be careful with this one. Let's move forward, though, with Exquisite Blood. Now, this one, Sanguine Bond, you know, both kind of, like, along the same vein of, like, vein, like, see, like a blood and that kind of stuff. Anyways, yeah, even if you don't have the combo in your deck between Exquisite Blood and one of the many things that combos with it, including Sanguine Bond, you're gonna be hard-pressed to convince opponents that you don't have a combo with this card in the deck. Also, even if you aren't comboing with it, you're still going to be a massive target for your opponents, because it's an enchantment for 5 mana in black that says, whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Yeah, just throughout the game in Commander, players are going to lose life, opponents are going to lose life, and you're like, oh, I didn't even participate in this. Like, literally, another player attacked another player, that player lost life, and I just gained life. Yeah, that's a scenario where you can just gain miscellaneously large amounts of life while also being a giant combo threat, too. This card is definitely going to paint a giant target on you, and players will attack you because by attacking each other, they're just going to have you gain life, and they're not going to want that at a certain point. So, yeah, take out the potential combo player that also has an absurd amount of life total. Yeah, let's take them out first. Now on to the next one with Possibility Storm, and again, this one is kind of, again, a representation of a lot of different cards that are all along the same vein. Possibility Storm is a Chaos card, and if you played against me, I am going to attack you until you go away, and I'm going to convince the other players to do so as well. Enchantment for 5 mana in red. Whenever a player casts a spell from their hand, they exile it, then they exile cards off the top of their library until they exile a card that shares a card type with it. That player may cast the card without paying its mana cost, then they put all the exile cards with it on the bottom of your library in a random order. Essentially, you're like, hey, you know what? Let's not play Magic anymore, okay? Instead of actually getting the spell that you cast, you get something random off the top. Isn't that wacky? Yes, but I didn't sign up for that, so I'm going to take you out now. Yeah, basically making it so that players can't really have, like, any kind of a strategy with their deck. Again, they spent all this time to build the deck, and you say, throw that out the window! You're just getting random things now! Isn't this lovely? And you're like, no, stop that. Take that player out. Yeah, these kinds of chaos cards, like cards that literally like, okay, yeah, change the, targets of everything to something random as well. Those kinds of cards are like, okay, swap armies, haha, it's mine now. We're like, yeah, all these things are Warp World, off the top of the library, random things, yay! You start playing those cards, and I'm going to convince the other players at the table to take you out because you know what? I like my game plan, and I want to stick to my game plan, and when you're gone, I can go back to my game plan. Target acquired. All right, buckle up for this next one, though, with Axis Immortality, a card that I wish didn't paint a target on my back. Yeah, because this is a card that I love. I built, like, the entire deck around it, essentially, like Selenia Dark Angel, Life Swaps, yes. A Life Swap card like this one can definitely be a giant target on you, though. An enchantment for 6 mana in white at the beginning of your upkeep. You may have 2 target players exchange life totals. This is really fun. Exchanging life totals is very powerful. It's also something that can definitely put a target on your back because players are like, okay, well, if I'm in a good position, all of a sudden this can put me into the worst position, literally just by this being in play. So it's not something that, again, activates right away. You've got to have it in play, and then players are like, okay, on the upkeep it's going to hit me, so we need to take that player down pretty quickly, but, like, not to a point where they're still alive, and they'll, like, at, like, 2 life, because then they'll just swap, and then all of a sudden they're back up. So this can put a massive target on your back. Now, can you politic with this one in some ways, where only one player sees you as a threat? Sure. At the time being, sure. Because you can say, all right, that one player is at like 40 life, the rest of us are like at 15, so like, let's take them down a bit. But then obviously you're going to be in like the, you know, best position after that too. You can also make deals with players like, I'll swap your life with someone else's life. So you can politic with it, but still, just inherently, it's a giant threat that just sits there and says, I'm going to change the entire dynamics of the game by, if you're in first, you're going to be in last. So, and if you're in last, you're going to be in first. It makes it so that your opponents really can't actually, you know, like, actually just ensure that they are in the most threatening position out there, the most dominant position out there, and because of that, they're going to want you gone, they're going to want this gone, they're going to have a target on your back. You're not ready for this next pick, though, and neither are your opponents when they play Mind's Dilation, an enchantment for 7 mana in blue. Whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn, the player exiles the top card of their library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it paying its mana cost. Yeah, this is just, alright, random, sure. I mean, obviously there are some ways that you could manipulate the top of your library, brainstorm, etc., but this is just, even with random, it is an insane amount of potential value. And again, it's based off your opponent's casting things, so they kind of feel responsible when they cast something. They're like, oh no, I just cast something and that player got like their biggest card off the top of the deck. Oh no. So yeah, instead of them worrying about that, they're going to try to take you out. They're going to be like, instead of this player just getting insane amounts of value for free, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to have, them go away. And of course, because it also is like, you know, eggs on the top of their library, it's like, okay, yeah, you're also stealing things too. So it's like, yeah, you can get the biggest thing out of my deck, and you're also stealing it, and then you just take me out with that too. There's going to be some bad feelings about your opponents when you play a card like this, where they're going to be like, you know what? No, that player is now the biggest threat. I don't care what else is on the board. I don't care about anything else on the board. We need to take that player up because they've got Mind's Dilation, and that is too much value of stealing my things. I don't like it. Go away. Here comes a super spicy one, though. Yeah, Omnitions. Here's the thing with this one, putting a target on your back. It's probably too late. I will say that. It is probably too late if this thing is in play, all right? It might not be. You might be able to stop it, essentially, and you might be able to get to that player, but Omniscience is a game-ending card for a reason. The target's going to be on the back, obviously. The player who plays it can't not expect there to not be a target on the back with this kind of a card, so they better be able to finish the game right then and there, and if they can't, the other players are going to take them out quickly. Enchantment for 10 mana in blue. You may cast spells for your hand without paying their mana cost. Being able to just freely cast spells again literally breaks the rules of Magic, and because of that, yeah, that player cannot be allowed to live. They can't be allowed to stay around. They can't be allowed to do anything because, yeah, they're breaking the rules of Magic, and they're probably just going to win the game, so we need them to be gone. Again, it might be too late because they probably have, like, draw spells. So, like, okay, I draw more cards. Which draws more cards? Which draws more cards? Counterspell, 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 counterspell. Yeah, that probably is going to be what's happening. But if not, that player has a huge target on their back, and they can't be like, why is everyone attacking me? And it's going to be like, because you have Omniscience in play. That's not that big of a deal. Yes, it is. It's kind of like the biggest deal ever. That thing's like 10 mana for a reason. It's going to win you the game. Oh, no. Attack that player. Attack them right now. Wait until you see this next one, though. We're moving on to creatures with Dothy Void Walker. Yeah, when they printed this, I was like, wait, does that? And that. Oh, and that to be considered as well. Okay, Wizards, what you doing? 3/2 Dothy Rogue for 2 mana in black with Shadow. So basically, it's unblockable and it can't block, essentially, unless there's another creature with Shadow, basically. If a card put in an opponent's graveyard from anywhere and said exile a void counter on it. Again, already good because it's like, all right, you know what? Are you playing an Aristocrat style deck? Good, because all of a sudden I shut down all your death triggers. Cool. Also, like any kind of graveyard synergies, reanimation, etc. No, none of those. Also, though, tap sacrifice this creature, choose an exile card opponent owns with a void counter on it. We play it this turn out paying its mana cost. Hey, you know what? Let's just steal something for free from this 2 mana unblockable creature that I can just chip in some damage early with, and then later on just be like, you know what? Hey, you know, I've gotten a lot of value out of this. You got some really good things in your graveyard recently, so I'm just gonna sacrifice this and cast something massive for free. Good for me. But on top of that, of course, if I get this back out, those cards with the void counters on them are staying in exile, void counters on them. So I can also access that again, and new cards too, that also get more void counters on them. This is an insanely powerful card that, again, rubs players the wrong way in a certain way if they're playing a deck, again, that has, like, death triggers that they need, or they need access to their graveyard, and also just stealing someone's, like, best card. It's kind of a no-no. So yeah, Dothy Voidwalker, on top of all the chip damage you're putting in too, definitely a target acquired card. Now, I might have already actually kind of mentioned this one on accident, but yeah, Spirit of the Labyrinth, I think I mentioned that with Rule of Law. Not the same thing, but still a card that will get a target painted on your back when you play it. A 3/1 enchantment creature spirit for 2 mana in white. Each player can't draw more than 1 card each turn. There's other ones that basically do this as well, like Narset, etc., but yeah, basically if you're playing any of them, you're gonna get players coming after you, because here's the thing. Players like to draw cards, and also they might be like, oh, that player's probably gonna play a wheel. Even if you've got no wheels in the deck, they're going to be like, yeah, prove it. And they're going to take you out, because if you just wheel once, that player is, well, all the other players are just in huge, huge trouble. I mean, you are too, I guess, actually. But that's kind of where Narset actually, you know, turns the tables a little bit more. Even just playing this one, though, and just shutting everyone down from drawing more than 1 card in a turn is obnoxious. It puts a lot of pressure on just top decking, essentially. And it's going to make it so that, yeah, it's going to be a slower game, and it's going to be a game where players can't play certain cards because they won't be able to draw things with them anyways. So, yeah, they're not going to really do much. So this is a card. Narset, obviously, is another one that makes it asymmetrical as well, and the whole wheel thing. It can be pretty obnoxious, and you're going to get a target on your back. Get ready for what's coming next, though, because Mindslicer is a disgusting card. 4/3 for 4 mana. When it dies, each player discards their hand. Okay, even if you're just like, okay, I'm just playing it, don't worry about it. I don't have any ways to sacrifice it. Don't worry about it. Okay, you probably have ways to sacrifice it, number one, so whenever you need to, you can just go, everyone loses their hand. Yay. We're all just top decking. Yay. So much fun. Yay. But even if not, this is just like, okay, I keep it back on defense, and you can't attack me, because if you do, everyone loses their hand, because I will block with it, and it will get taken out. This is an obnoxious card. I mean, just making everyone discard their entire hand is crazy. On top of that, because it is a creature, of course, and you are in black, you got plenty of ways to get it back out of your graveyard. Maybe you can even feign death it to get it right back right away. Reanimation style things as well, of course. But yeah, overall, making players lose their hands is a no-no. And this is a potential repeat no-no. So this is a card where, yeah, if you play it, they're going to come at you. But they might not be able to come at you, though, because, again, if they attack you, they can just block with it. So you'd be running right into them. They'll find other ways to take you out, though. They will all remember what you do with the Mindslicer, and they will take you out for making them lose their hands. Now, this one's worth your attention, because we've got Tidal Barracuda, a 3/4 fish for 4 mana in blue. Any player may cast spells as though they had flash. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. This is a very interesting card because, again, it's kind of group huggy, but kind of not again. It's like a card where it's like, okay, I'm benefiting everyone. Are you? Are you really? Is it really a good idea to let everyone play at instant speed? My goodness, number one. Number two, everyone instant speed. Well, except for one, just small detail, just not on my turn. So yeah, making it so that you basically shut down instants on your turn as well, on top of every other card getting shut down on your turn. Yeah, it's a very powerful thing. It's super powerful. It's asymmetrical. And again, just giving everyone the ability to play on everyone's turn, essentially, can be obnoxious for certain players who, like, don't want that to happen. So you're going to get a target painted on your back, even if you're trying to convince opponents, like, no, I'm just trying to help everyone. It's like, you're getting the biggest benefit out of this, number one. Number two, go Away Fishy. Okay, this one might hold the title of most obnoxious Magic card of all time. It literally might. If you've never played against this card, you might not realize how obnoxious it is, but it's obnoxious to the point where literally when a player displays this, I'm like, okay, everyone, stop what you're doing. Don't focus on anything else. Just take that player out, because this is what needs to happen. Perplexing Chimera, a 3/3 enchantment creature chimera for 5 mana in blue. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may exchange control of Perplexing Chimera in that spell. If you do, you may choose 2 targets for the copy, or for the spell, I said. It's not copied, for the spell. So basically, here's the thing. That player who plays this just holds the entire table hostage of casting any spells, basically. Because when you do, that player can go, you know what, I'll switch out the 3/3 for whatever that giant spell is that you're casting. So you're basically holding everyone hostage from casting anything good. And when you do, you're just inducing, just making just a giant chaotic effect on the table. The entire table is just chaos now, basically, where it's like, okay, that was mine, but now it's yours. That was mine, now it's yours. Now you can play Skyrim, now it's there. Now it's there. It is such an obnoxious card, again, that literally shuts things down until it doesn't, and then chaos erupts. So yes, Perplexing Chimera, when you play it, I will convince everyone else to attack you until you are gone, or until you're forced to block with Perplexing Chimera because you're at too low of a life to not do that. Yeah, let's take you out. Let's zero in on this next big one, though, with Eye Navigator. Yeah, this is like a combo-centric card that everyone should know about these days, I would hope. But yeah, Eye Navigator, again, a card that combos with a ham sandwich. It comes with so many things, and even if you're not comboing, it is just literally repeat blink value that is so cheap. 5/5 Spirit with Soul Bond for 6 mana. If it's paired with another creature, they both have pay 2 mana, essentially. Exile it and then bring it back. Basically, blink that creature. Again, Peregrine Drake combo, a lot of other combos too, but yeah, even if you're not doing that, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I've got Avenger of Zendikar in play. I pay 2 mana. Okay, more plants. Okay, I'll do it again. Oh, more plants. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so using and abusing ETBs is very easy with this, and of course, super combo-centric. Again, you're going to be hard-pressed to convince players that you don't have part of a combo in a deck with this. When you play Eye Navigator, usually that's what players are seeing, and even if not, it's like, okay, you proved to me, you literally, like, you were tuning for a land, you literally showed me your entire library, and you don't have Peregrine Drake or anything that comes with this. Cool. That being said, you've got so many great ETBs to utilize with this, I'm still going to take you out. It does not matter. Go away! Target acquired! Wait until you see this next one, though, because Sire of Insanity says, hey, you know what? Mindslicer is just cute in comparison. A 6/4 demon for 6 mana in Rakdos. Beginning of each end step, each player discards their hand. Oh my goodness. This card is literally like, hey, you know what'd be fun? If no one ever had a hand ever, and you're just top decking everything all the time. Okay, let's do that. This card is brutal. One of the most brutal cards ever invented in Magic, in my opinion. Literally saying, you know what? Again, max hand size 0. Basically, for every single player out there, no one's got a hand. Even me, and I'm playing it. I'm the player playing it. Yeah, we're going to take you out if you're the player playing it. You probably have ways to take advantage of it. Obviously, if you're the player who plays this, you've got ways to say, okay, like when you discard cards, you get this effect, or this effect, or this effect. Whatever it is, sure. You get value out of it. You probably have a way to draw on your upkeep to even more cards as well. That being said, we're going to take you out with what little resources we have, because we can't draw any more cards, and keep them in our hands and just store them when we need to. We're just top decking. We are going to try to take you out because this is an obnoxious card. Now let's switch strategies, though, to a card that is very much a giant threat, and it's kind of already too late for one player when it already comes down, but the other players are going to be like, oh my, no, we must take this out right now. Magister Spinx, a 5/5 Sphinx with flying for 7 mana and Esper that was invented for other formats. When it comes into play, target player's life total becomes 10. Yeah, invented for other formats, most likely, I would think, I would hope. But yeah, basically it's a card that's like, hey, you know what? Your life total is 10. Yeah, normally, like in other formats, it'd be 20 to 10, but now it's going up from 40 to 10, maybe even more than that in Commander, right? So this is just, okay, you were at a good spot, you thought you were at a great spot, now you're not at a good spot. Kind of like X Immortality comes with switching, but like without the need to wait for it. And also, again, this is like, oh, it's just a one-off effect, don't worry about it. But no. It's on ETB. No cast trigger requirement. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, are you in colors that can blink this really well? Okay, yeah, you get blink. Oh, and Feign Death type effects, too. Yeah, you can blink that really easy. Yeah, again, the other opponents who did not already get hit with this, the player got hit with it already. He's going to be like, okay, I'm already at 10. It doesn't really matter to me anymore if you put me back to 10 because I'm already at 10. The other two opponents are going to be like, We need to take that player out right now because they're going to put us at 10. Oh no, please! Target acquired. Let's draw our next option, though, with Nyx Bloom Ancient. Oh my goodness. This card definitely is a target acquired type card. A card that can definitely paint a target on your back, and yeah, I'm going to take you out if you play this card. 5/5 Elemental with Trample for 7 mana in green. If you tap a permanent for mana, any permanent for mana, anything, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. Wizards knew exactly what they were doing when they're making this card. They're like, hey, players like doubling effects. Players like tripling effects. Okay, players like mana. Let's do that. Yeah, when you play this card, all of a sudden, your resources triple, which is absurd. I mean, at the very least, if you play this, you're probably at 7 mana, right? They'll put you, like, to 21, which is just like, oh, I win the game type territory. I mean, when you triple any kind of mana, you are, I'm in the winning the game type territory type card. So if that player is allowed to basically, like, untap fully with this, the game's just probably over. So yeah, every other player needs to throw all their resources at either taking this out or taking that player out because the game's going to be over if not. So take it out. Goodbye. Next up, maybe one of the most obvious ones out there, Blight Steel Colossus. You're definitely going to have a target on your back if you play this, and there's no way you can ever be like, I'm upset that you're targeting me now. No, you played Blight Steel. No, bad, bad, bad. I mean, it's a good commander move, right? It's a good play, right? Obviously, but like, you're going to get taken out. 11/11 Golem with Trample and Infect. Has Indestructible. It's 12 mana. Here's the thing. Players usually never paid 12 mana for it. They're usually cheating it out in other ways. And obviously, it's indestructible, so it's hard to deal with. And of course, it is a one-shot KO on literally anyone. Infect is super powerful. This is a trampling Infect creature. It's going to take some players out. So obviously, you're the biggest threat out there when you have this because you can just wipe anyone out no matter what the situation is. Again, literally, if you're just like, okay, yeah, let's play this other card that taps down your creatures or makes this unblockable, whatever it's going to be. Yeah, you're just gone. You could be at 1,000 life. You could be in this situation. You could be that situation. Doesn't matter. You're gone. You're the biggest threat when you play this. You're going to be targeted. Pay close attention to this next one, though, because Eldrazi are a beloved creature type in Magic by many players, but It That Betrays might be beloved by Eldrazi players, but not by anyone else. 11/11 Eldrazi for 12 mana, Annihilator 2. So again, when it attacks, that fighting player sacrifices 2 permanents. Mean. On top of that, though, meaner. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent, put that card on the battlefield under your control. Yeah, players, like I mentioned earlier, don't like when their things get stolen, and this is like, hey, not only do you sacrifice things, but I get them, they're mine. And by the way, I also have plenty of other ways to make you sacrifice things outside of Annihilator, because I'm just going to play a bunch of Edict effects, and you lose! I mean, yeah, this I'm not really mentioning, like, commanders on this episode, but yeah, like, Turgid obviously fits in this bucket as well. But yeah, It That Betrays is a super, super highly target me type card where you play this and be like, everyone else, do you want your thing stolen from this giant 11/11 Eldrazi? No, we don't. Let's all work together to take down the evil Eldrazi like the Gatewatch did. I don't know anything about the story, really, but yeah, I think that's what they did. Sure, let's do it. Okay, take down the Eldrazi player. Now. We are done with creatures now, so let's move on to artifacts with Aether Flux Reservoir. Yeah, this one is one where you can never really convince me that I shouldn't be targeting you when you play this, and you should be targeting the player when they play this. An artifact for 4. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each life you've cast this turn. Life you cast. Spell you've cast this turn. You can't cast life yet in Magic. Pay 50 life. It deals 50 damage to our creature or player. Here's the thing. This is one of those cards that you can literally just kind of hold all of your opponents hostage with it. So, yeah, when you play it, if you're not at 50 yet, everyone is going to try to take you out. If you are at 50, you can probably hold your opponents hostage with it. Unless there's like one brave soul opponent who's like, I shall not stand for this. You're at 51. You will not target me with that. I know you won't. And then you do anyways, and then you take both the players out. You know, that the player that was saying that, and also yourself. But still, this is the type of card where, yeah, if you're not at 50 yet, you better get there quickly to be able to hold your opponents hostage, because if not, everyone's going to try to take you down to ensure that you can't gain the amount of life you need to gain to get to 50, because then at that point, you're literally like, aha, you're gone. You're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Yeah. Hostage holding cards like this one are ones that definitely paint a target on your back. It's not inevitable that you're going to win, but it's inevitable that you're going to be able to hold that over your opponents, and they're not going to want that. Here's a card that might surprise you, but it probably shouldn't. Afars Puzzle Box. Yeah, this is a card where it's like, no. Players play this card that is, well, it helps them out their own strategy, right? It does. Artifact for 4. Beginning of each player's draw state, the player puts the cards from their hand, the bottom of their library in any order, then draws that many cards. Again, if you have a deck where, well, I've got like cards that like help me whenever I draw things. Cool, like, all right, awesome, I get benefits for that. Cool, good for you. Here's the thing. You're not the only player this affects. This affects everyone else. Because of that, you're making basically everyone else have random hands every single turn. So again, there is no planning ahead with this. It's not really like top decking, but it is like kind of like mass top decking in a way. Where again, it is impossible to plan ahead and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this next turn. No. Next turn, you won't have that card. You're going to get some random cards off the top of the library again. So yeah, this is a card, when the player plays it again, they might just be playing it thinking about like their own strategy and how it benefits them. Again, like, oh yeah, I get this benefit whenever I draw cards. Good for me, like Locust God, cool. I mean, you're already making yourself a bigger threat that way, but also, again, the annoying factor of not being able to plan ahead for your opponents, that's going to make you a target. This next one is, well, I mean, quite obvious, I would say, but I just want to point out because it's kind of funny. It's a really cool card. Artifact for 6, Coveted Jewel. Enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, tap at 3 mana in 1 color. Whenever one or more creatures that opponent controls attack you and aren't blocked, the player draws 3 cards and gains control of it, untap it. I mean, yeah, this is going to give you a target on your back because literally you painted a target on your back because the card can be stolen by putting, by players just attacking you. So yeah, like, they literally are going to want to do that because it is gain 3, mana and draw 3 cards, essentially. So I just kind of want to point out this obvious one that's not like, it's not like rubbing players the wrong way. It's like, oh, I get incentivized to take you out? Cool, let's do that. So yeah, it is definitely a card that will paint a target on your back, obviously. Onward we go to God Pharaohs Statue. Let your artifact for 6. That definitely paints a target on your back. Spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast. Get your end step, each opponent loses 1 life. The 1 life players can deal with. They're like, okay, yeah, 1 life, whatever. That's not that big of a deal. Like, okay, you hit me for 1. Oh no, I go down to 39. Darn. The whole spells cost 2 more to cast is probably what is going to get you taken out because, yeah, that's a massive stacks effect on your opponents trying to cast spells. Stacks effect, tax effect, whatever you want to call it. It is a giant annoyance where, again, your spells are unaffected, it's asymmetrical, and you're like, hey, you're going to cast a Brainstorm, pay 3 for that. Random growth costs you 4 now. Yeah, it is a card where it is super effective, but it is also super effective at your opponents teaming up against you to take you out because it's quite obnoxious and annoying and powerful. Target acquired. Next up, another one where it might be a little too late, at least for one opponent, and you can kind of hold this over their head, but they're probably going to team up against you when you play this, Mindslaver. Let your artifact for 6, pay 4, tap, sacrifice it, you control target player's next turn. This is a brutal card, super brutal, one of the most brutal cards in Magic, most likely. Gaining control of someone's turn is just kind of mean. I mean, again, like stealing someone's things, yeah, terrible and mean in Magic, that some people would say, but this is next level. This is stealing their entire turn and controlling their entire board and making every bad decision you possibly could for them. Here's the thing as well, there's also Mindslaver locks, where you could just like keep locking out a player by taking their turn again and again and again, because this doesn't exile. You can keep getting it back with the recursion spells and stuff like that. So yes, this is something that will definitely paint a target on your back. It might be too late for one player when you do it, because you're like, I gain control of your turn. They're like, well, I can't do anything about that then, but the other players, avenge me! They're going to try their best. So again, if you play Mindslaver, make sure you've got a way to finish things off quickly. If not, you will be getting finished off. Finally, though, Portal to Fyrexia. This card is insanely powerful. Insanely expensive, mana value-wise and money-wise, too. Artifact for 9. Enters the battlefield. Each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. That is brutal. 9 creatures in total taken out by you doing this. Beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard on the battlefield under your control. It's a Phyrexia and other types. This is combining a couple things we've talked about so far, like, again, mass edict effect that just, like, wipes out the board, but also, like, super high value engine that steals your opponent's best creatures. Yeah, this is the type of card that's going to get you a target on your back, especially since, again, the edict effect happens on ETB. If you've got any kind of ways to blink the artifact or just, like, replay it, yeah, you can do that again, and again, and again, and again. So yeah, all of a sudden, you are, again, keeping the board down, keeping it wiped out, and keeping your resources plentiful to keep playing them again and again and again. Definitely a great card to play if you want to win the game, or if you want to get a target painted on your back. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it, and of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support.